Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just posting a video and a recap of. I just reposted a video just now. I was like going through stuff on my phone and found that video, and I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. I forgot about that. I usually am not a guy that likes posting videos, and I feel like when I saw that, I maybe should do some kind of like recap thing. I feel like right now, as far as with my depression, is I have sought help. That was towards the beginning. Here I am over a year later since that video, and I feel like as far as that aspect of my life, a lot has changed for the better. I got a beard. I think that's awesome. But besides that, I have basically been released for counseling. I think one thing that changed my life was when I finally went to see a doctor and got medicated help on also. And I would like to thank a lot of people and friendships I made at New Spring. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a guy that calls and reach out, but at the church we go to, I just know there's people I could call if I needed help. I'm gonna say, if you are going through depression, I said it in the video, you won't win that battle alone. That's just something I've struggled with from my teen years to adulthood, and I never beat it until I started reaching out for help from others. I'll tell you this, if you do not understand depression and chemical imbalances, which my doctor has diagnosed me with bipolar depression. I did have a lot of things that happened in my life that triggers it. And that's something I learned when I was in my counseling sessions about what triggers my depression. I had days over the last couple years where things would seem like, no, I'm not depressed, everything's good, and then crash hard to the point of almost suicide. And the other thing is, when you try to reach out to people who don't understand depression, the best thing they can do, and I think this is, I'm not going to knock people that are in ministry, but I will say this, I think there's people, they want to help, but they don't know how to do it. But instead of saying something like, I don't know what you're going through, let me pray with you and turn your attention towards this guy that can help you, which I will give when I went to New Spring and first kind of went to the care room about it, that's basically what the guy did in the care room. I respected that more than someone sitting there like, read this verse or pray this long. Oh, that didn't work? Well, you're not right with God. I mean, I think someone that's full of pride, if you think you're going to help someone with depression without even knowing what they're going through, because most people would just say, who hadn't dealt with a bipolar depression or real depression, they're going to say something like that. They're going to say something completely ignorant because they don't understand, but their pride won't let them just let it go and turn you towards someone else. They want to be the one to help you and say, and I remember sitting in an office with someone trying to help me in the past, and they give me, oh, read this, and this, and then once I say, oh, that didn't help me, they want to say, oh, well, you didn't read it right. You didn't put those verses in your heart. I'm sorry that I didn't. I guess I've had, by the way, with the whole Bible verses on depression, I feel like I can almost quote them. But I had somebody tell me, oh, you didn't hide them in your heart, that's why you're depressed. No, it's called bipolar depression, and a doctor diagnosed me with that, which I do believe there's stuff I hid from a lot of people that they don't know what happened behind closed doors with me. My wife experienced, and I want to say I loved Carolyn, our first year of marriage was hell, and I gave her that hell. She would sit in the bedroom, or I would sit in the bedroom and she'll be scared to leave to go to work because she was scared I was going to blow my brains out when she left. She put up with meltdowns like you wouldn't believe. And I think since I got on medication, I haven't had these severe meltdowns. Like, I feel like, especially when my daughter was born, the only thing that kept me alive was how bad I would hurt my wife if I did it. But without her, I probably would have did it. But I'm just saying, a lot of damage can be done when someone don't understand depression, and that's why I want to make this video. There's no shame if you don't understand it to tell somebody, I don't understand what you're going through. I just want to be here. I'll pray with you. If you call me, we could talk about it. Or I know this guy. I have no shame when people come up to me asking for help on something and I don't know what it is. I try to turn them on to someone that's been through that. That always helps when somebody has been through that. And I came across this. I was reading a book about depression, a guy that went through depression. And the one thing I could tell you, a lot of people that don't understand, especially on a bipolar depression level, is when you try to explain it, they always want to go into a detail about something they went through, and they're like, oh, I know what you went through. I went through this, and they tell a circumstance. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, with bipolar depression, your circumstance isn't gonna here's the thing about my bipolar depression, I'll tell you this. It's not a circumstance that happens. I get triggered. And imagine what it's like to be completely miserable to the point of suicide and you don't know why. But yet when you have a circumstance depression through to the point where it might drive you to that suicide level, at least you know why you're there. And me, I didn't know why I was there. I didn't know there was something going on up in here that I didn't know about. You know, in my brain, there's things I wouldn't know of, but it was like small things that would trigger it. And I'm not, again, don't want to knock people who want to help people, but the best thing ever is when I got pointed to a guy that, hey, I'm going to admit, I don't know what you're going through, but let me point you to this guy. And that helped me. And then that gave me the courage to actually go to a doctor and seek help. And I haven't had these meltdowns. And my wife always tells me, hey, I agree, things are better. And by the way, I had the stereotype that if you're on medication, you're going to be a zombie, and it's not going to matter. I'm just going to be a zombie walking around with mindless, and that wasn't actually true. I'm on medicine, and I'm actually not this mindless zombie walking around that my wife's got to hold my arm because I don't know what's going on. The medication was a big step. It's definitely put my meltdowns under control. I felt better. I have a little bit more energy than I did, and that's about where I just want to let people know where I'm at. All I can say is God's been good. Y'all have a good day.